$330,000, 526. $330,526. A substantial decrease of 20%. When the salaries were already cut. But again, we can spend money on concerts. AG Herbo $33,000 for 8 minutes, which, from my understanding, I don't have no receipts. He didn't get paid fully. But then again, I would rather believe Jesse Smollett than believe what you got to respond to. So, 8%. Why do we need to take out a $5 million loan when the salaries were already cut? But again, we can spend money on concerts. AG Herbo $33,000 for 8 minutes, which, from my understanding, I don't have no receipts. He didn't get paid fully. But then again, I would rather believe Jesse Smollett than believe what you got to respond to. So, AG Herbo $33,000 for 8 minutes, which, from my understanding, I don't have no receipts. He didn't get paid fully. But then again, I would rather believe Jesse Smollett than believe what you got to respond to. So, 8%. Why do we need to take out a $5 million loan when the salaries were already cut? But again, we can spend money on concerts. AG Herbo $33,000 for 8 minutes, which, from my understanding, I don't have no receipts. He didn't get paid fully. But then again, I would rather believe Jesse Smollett than believe what you got to respond to. So,
Hello, everybody. I just want to say this because, like I tell y'all, I dilly dab in this super mayor Dalton controversy here and there, right? So, this is a guy steps up because they have another town meeting for the public. And of course, everybody knows the public gets to come in saying whatever it is based off of whatever research or whatever ignorancy that you can stumble across in your mind to say. So I come across this one, which was a day ago, right? And this guy, he's up next. And of course, I believe you have to sign your name or something if you're planning on speaking, right? So the entire world just may know about what's going on in this small town of Dalton. Little bit of town outside of Chicago area, right? So I'm listening and I'm listening and I'm listening and I'm listening, and everybody that steps up there, pretty much everybody, has something bad to say. This stuff has gotten so bad that it's a monkey see, monkey do. Go along, get along, train at its finest. Just because a person feels this way or a person says something this way, we look into it, and based on some antics of what the supervisor may rebuttal to, or any of the trustees that's up there on the same table with her, one little thing that's out of context that doesn't fit their narrative, it's going to be something judgmental, derogatory, inflammatory against this lady. And I find it myself ludicrous, because we're talking about people that has all of these judgmental things to say, name callings, that pretty much probably don't have the slightest clue. These people do not have any access to any numbers to the extent to say a lot of things that they come up to say. Sometimes it's best to just hold a mule and not jump on the train yet, right? So I was listening to this guy, and this guy says that he rather had believed everything about Jussie Smollett than he would anything about the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, down in Dalton. And the moment that he said that shit, do he know that the entire world followed the Jussie Smollett situation? Everybody followed that. Everybody know who's all involved dealing with that type of shit coming down from Kim Fox and whatever the Asian or the China woman or whatever dealing with that used to be up there with the president or whatever, her Jing Xing Ching or whatever her name is, right? Everybody saw that stuff. Everybody saw how Jussie Smollett, you know, got that little license and community service and all that stuff about lying. He literally lied. And this man has the audacity to come up there and says that he would rather believe Jussie Smollett. That was enough. I'm just saying, if I was the super mayor, to hurry up and put that nigga up out that building, you got to go. Because I know with those glasses that he was wearing that you clearly watched the whole Jussie Smollett controversy, court appearances, and you rather believe Jussie Smollett. So that tells me if you can blurt out something like that, right? That tells me that he knows the very least about what is going on with the numbers that is one of the factors that has this controversy out here, national and international, with the Dalton community. So ain't no way in hell. I don't put your name back on the list. Don't you? He don't even know. He just another somebody that just wanted to speak, be heard, be seen, and hopefully have some controversy, I guess, about him. But ain't no way in the hell he should be allowed back in the building. But I also decided to stick around on this live because I wanted to just hear maybe another candidate come up and speak on what it is that they know, what it is that they want to say. And for the most part, I'm saying, okay, you know, bring the drama, bring the you ain't nothing and you stole this and you did that and you did a whole bunch of stuff, right? But let me let y'all hear what this guy has to say because I was surprised, right? It's like, okay, so finally, you know, here comes a candidate that speaks something, a good coming out of this, you know, because it says everything can't be bad. Everything, as opposed to what these YouTube creators are saying and bloggers or whatever they are, it can't be that bad. And I'll tell you guys why in a second. Now listen to the other guy.
Keith Price.
His name is Keith Bryce. Now listen to him.
I just wanted to come up here and compliment
A supervisor.
trustees for being winning the award for the 2024 basketball.
He's complimenting the supervisors and the trustees that's up there on an award that they received not too long ago. And with his research, he found that there were plenty of rewards that they would issue for accomplishing some things for Dalton. He's also going to rebuttal back to most of the people when it comes to the finance part of it.
Forming portal agency, which the township received the award this week. Also, I hope Rob can correct that gentleman in some of his statements. When I pulled up the audited numbers, I saw that it was a deficit since 2017, with the year that Mr. Zuccarelli passed being $4.6 million in the red.
Now, I have to agree with him because I saw it too. I went way back to the previous mayors, the one before Mr. Zeller and the one before, and Dalton had been in the red for quite some time. However, you didn't have this level of controversy coming from that small village or the town of these people, which some of them sat as trustees. But you didn't hear this. It was you didn't hear this shit. Not like you hear it now. So I did go back to review some of the town meetings all the way back. Were there meetings in concerning of, a little bit of the deficit? Yeah. But that mayor was, telling, they still have this, they still have people to pay. This is why they have this is why they have that. But now they have this super mayor, someone young, someone Black American, that it's time to point the finger to from what I'm looking at, because she's extra. She did a whole bunch of little extra stuff out of the norm of what they're not used to seeing or probably having, starting with the ice rink. I guess maybe they didn't want an ice rink. Chicago downtown got a fabulous goddamn ice rink that's bringing in a lot of revenue in the wintertime. I'm down there and I'm looking at it. A whole lot of people come down there. Chicago puts up a big ass Christmas tree. Chicago knew about Lightfoot when she came into mayor. No, she did not have her billboards from A to Z, but she had one or two of them up. Everybody knew, right? But this woman is extra. And it just kills me because, we going to act like Black folks ain't extra. We know we extra. However, let's listen to him.
After Supervisor Henry got here, it came out of the red into the black. So, I don't know what numbers you're actually...
Hold on. So he says, when the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, came there, they came out of the red and into the black. But the people of that town and the bloggers are continuously being biased on shit that they see now. They're following each other. So she's getting absolutely no brownie points. She's getting no points for doing something. But here you have this guy here where he stands up and the news is there. Everybody is there. Everybody and their mom. Now to hear something good coming out of this only, it will intensify what they call for, which is this investigation, because these people, the FBI, we'll get to Lightfoot in a second, right? They're going to find all of this stuff. So they're going to be able to depict and dissect personal feelings against the law. Personal feelings against the law. Now, the other guy that came up just before this guy right here, I'm almost guessing that if they wish to, or if they could, dig into his background, see if he owns a home, see if he's caught up on his taxes, see if this, because it's easy for a person who is not being called out to talk the most shit, pretty much. But let's carry on.
Reading, and when you speak of loans, I think you should get more information on that, especially when that money was spent remodeling this building before they had it. So it's easy to come up and just talk. Hold
on, bro, because I listened to pretty much all of the town hall meetings. things. And all of those, and I'm going to have to say disgruntled because of the behavior that these people come in this free public establishment to express themselves. But they express themselves with a lot of bitterness, angriness, and disgruntledness towards this lady. They do. None of them are fucking humble. None of them. But they, and I guess, in a sense is right, according to, the ethic codes of a political person, you supposed to, contain yourself. Still act with decency and humanization. But we all know as human beings, if you are being attacked and you're being attacked above or below the belt, sometimes it's hard for us to contain ourselves to not meet energy with energy. I've watched several of those people take that darn podium and that microphone and go in. I said it last time when I talked about this. And if I had the power or whatever, I wouldn't give a rat's ass about it being a public building. You're either going to come in here and insult an empty seat. I would unass that seat, like that lady said. Not unass my position. I'm going to unass that seat so that my spirit do not have to be moved with the attack that they are giving when they're trying to resolve an important situation going on. Ain't no way in the hell you about to walk up in here, because I pay taxes too, just like everybody else do, and feel that you can abuse the First Amendment with being disgruntled towards me. I ain't gonna happen. Or, as they have done, they have now appointed a pre-tempo mayor, which he will be stepping into place and legally binded to signing some things that needs to be signed when the super mayor doesn't show up. So now they have two super mayors, or a super and a whatever mayor, tempo mayor, right? I'm trying to wait to see when they're going to talk about who finna pay him. So now they got two people in place that's going to need paying for doing the same job. I can't wait to see how that's going to play out. But this guy right here, he spoke finally, I'm hearing something positive about what the super mayor was involved in and made happen. And at that point, coming out of the red from the previous mayor, it does deserve some credit. Some credit.
As you always do, and I won't need 2 minutes, but I compliment you for constantly winning awards. 2 years in a row, you also won other awards. So
2 years in a row.
Can say what they want. Keep pushing, you and the board, and keep making Gordon Township better and advertising these services to everyone instead of select few. Thank you.
So he gave her, he some commending going on down there. But I was just sitting here wondering, she does step down and the other guy gets elected, into the seat. Does that mean that everything that they wanted, they'll get? Liquor stores, gambling spots, strip clubs, all the above that draws in people from the outside of the community to continue to raise the crime rate. I'm just asking, because it sounds to me like that was something that she may have been trying to prevent, which was to bring some things in the community that is family oriented, However, all of the lawsuits, one guy, I think I can call out one, he wanted to open or do something with a barbershop. He says that She took that and they didn't give him a license for this. And she made it something for her own. She took it for herself. And in this lawsuit, he's definitely going to have to approve that. He's one guy in particular that I'm very interested in seeing how his lawsuit is going to play out, on his behalf, whether a judge will find that Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard was definitely in the wrong for not issuing him, but I'm pretty sure she's going to probably bring some of her own valid reasons of why this did not happen, or she'll probably have to bring what the accused is accusing her of, and that is doing something with the property to make it her own. So we'll see. I'm interested in that. Then you have the other lawsuit, I believe, with the young lady whose daughter passed away in an accident. I think she may have one, where the police officers responded to a call at a restaurant, and the young lady was not dressed enough clothing, did not have enough clothing on, I guess, to remove herself from the vehicle, but her passenger removed herself from the vehicle, and in turn, the officer got hurt, and the daughter ended up getting shot by the officer, and then she passes away, right? But they blame, the lady for the super mayor for that situation, I guess, by her not doing a speedy or whatever investigation. And then you have the other one where she's blamed for the lady that alleged that some things happened between her and what a political man, I guess, Holmes or whatever, who dilly dabs around in Chicago and over there and over here. First responded 18 to, says that he's delegating and helping and with arrests and things like that. But, so she has that to answer for as to, why didn't she, do X, Y, and Z when it came to that, because the lady came to her. Fortunately, she did, remove some, Holmes, and he's not up there anymore on the board, so it's a situation that he's got to deal with. I don't get into whether if this lady is a victim or not about, this young lady ending up in this hotel room with this Holmes man, but, I must say this, it's never talked about how many drinks that she did have. This was her birthday. She was out partying. Who knows? He probably just took her to safety. He didn't have the key to her room. Maybe she wasn't responding enough for him to get her to her room and lay her, across the bed so that she can recover from being intoxicated. That's not talked about on the news. And I done watched several news shows with this young lady. I've watched her program, but she never talks about how much do she feel that she was intoxicated. Was she still in her right mind, or why wasn't she still in her right mind to make it back to her own room safely? So there's questionable about that. Hopefully she's okay, and this is a situation that both of them will have to deal with. But they're upset because she ended up, I think, losing her job. So, Tiffany's going to have to answer to that. So it's a whole bunch of this shit coming at this woman left and right on this. But I wanted to say this about Lightfoot, right? So they say that Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard has vetoed her, right? Meaning that we're not going to pay you. You're violating, the law with coming into our town, trying to do some X, Y, and Z investigation on behalf of the other trustees, right? Now, this could be retaliation. I don't know. I'm just saying. Because every time they go to these board meetings, it's always something in the agenda of paying attorneys, right? So you have the trustee young ladies and the one guy that sits at the bottom of the panel. They don't want to pay the Tiffany Henyard attorney, and then the Tiffany Henyard now is saying, well, we're not going to pay, Lightfoot. But isn't this all one freaking budget? So, and I get it, they have to have pretty much a majority vote, to say that they will pay and then they will not pay. However, it seems like before all of this exploded in everybody's faces for the world to see and then come and engage themselves in the middle of it, trying to help them untangle this stuff, it seems like when it came to all of these vineyards that was looking to get paid or this or that, it's like this shit should have came out a long ass time ago. But then now, since somebody is noticing that these vineyards are still on the list to getting paid, then that means that there is an unequivocal voting going on at that table. They rather do that. They rather to not vote together to clear up the debt that they have to pay and zero out all of these accounts with these vineyards. They rather sit there and say, it was you, it was you, it was you, it was you, which, like, deal with that later. Now that they are upset about Tiffany arguing, vetoing the Lightfoot lady, so now they are countering this veto, saying that she couldn't do that. So it's a possibility that Laura Lightfoot, ex-mayor of Chicago and a prosecutor, she's going to be probably back doing her investigation around June 1st, because they're going to vote on it again, and then I guess they're going to override her veto. So now I ask myself, well, they're bringing Lightfoot in, right? She has to be paid out of taxpayers' money. They seems to be okay with that. And they're talking about $400 an hour. That's probably going to come to way more than what Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard spent in Vegas, right? It's probably going to come way, it's probably going to exceed that, because especially if they don't give a certain amount of time for a conclusion on that investigation. Lori Lightfoot could come in there and drag that whole investigation out for a whole damn year and walk away with roughly 2-point-something million out of their taxpayers' money, which will probably sit in abeyance. They'll pay her half, and then now they got to re-vote and vote and vote about what if they gonna pay her, the remaining balance of what they probably owe her. Not only that, they also have spoken on how much money that they still owe Chicago for borrowing the freaking water from there. So they still have that debt on the table that they have not settled. Mind you, which I believe actually was up under Lightfoot, that loan, and some others, parties from Chicago, political people, right? So now that they want to say, well, no, we want Lightfoot back, and we're going to supersede this veto, and she'll be back around allegedly June 1st. Why in the hell do they need the FBI then? If maybe you should wait and got the FBI later. So I get it that they are in desperate need for some help to try to remove this super mayor from her seat. But however, you may end up with somebody where your township in your village is going to be a hood village in a hood ass township. Then they're going to be crying about all these people coming in their town over at the club. The clubs stay open till 4 in the morning. Alcohol bottles are everywhere. All that shit. Noise complaints are going to shoot off the freaking scale. They're going to be calling about every damn thing once they remove her. But anyway, that's here near that. That's just my opinion on that. But why didn't they just wait? Why don't they just wait before they try to hire Lightfoot until they get the investigation and what they've been screaming for, the arrest of Tiffany Henyard? Why don't they? It's like they're so impatient and they're not letting things run its course and come to a conclusion because they just wanting stuff right now. They want her off. They want her off. They want her off. Okay, well, maybe y'all ain't got no text messages with her saying that she done stole $3.6 million and got her hair done with it. She ain't talked to nobody. So then it turns out that one of the young ladies who were kind of in there with her on her team and this and that ended up being a freaking informant. You mean to tell me that she ain't collect enough information for her to be submitted to the FBI for them to go and pick her up? They ain't picked that woman up yet. And just like everything else going on here in the United States of America and now internationally, Dalton is not dealing with something that not another state has not dealt with, except for you don't hear it wasn't her, this big like this, right? But the same way that they are struggling with deficiencies, there's other states. Matter of fact, there's the whole damn country. So they literally have caused a big distraction, right? A big distraction from the bigger picture that's going on. A bigger picture going on, y'all. The whole United States of America, we're all in a goddamn deficiency out here. We all get hit with high taxes, high food prices, high gas prices. There's other towns that people are leaving from their state to travel down there to Dalton, right? To get in the midst, in the middle of their situation going on. But if they go back home to where they live at, they ain't starting up no controversy in their own town, knowing that your hometown is pretty much messed up too. But you ain't over there. Why are they not in their own hometown asking or demanding for a mayor from their town to be transparent? Why do they not want to know what the budgets are, what the loans are, who done spent what, who got what, how much they getting paid? This shit is fucking ludicrous to me, but I like dilly-dabbing in it, my little opinion, my own little thoughts, to this stuff, because this shit is really out of hand. Then I'm on, I gotta go see what the Caucasian and white folks over there saying, who dilly-dabs all in the law. I'm listening to a lot of them saying, yep, she's not in compliance. This is illegal to do. This is illegal to do. It don't take the feds 32 or 45 days to realize if something is legal. If it's in the book, then they can go pick her up. But I get how the feds work. They don't want to pick you up to have you go in there and do a 45-day term. They want to pick you up where you can sit your ass in there for 556,000 years. That's how they work. And I get that. I just don't see it with a lot of basis coming from all of these people. Granted that the town hall is open up to the general public. You can come in there and say what you want to say. But I don't see where these people are using their common sense to not use personal feelings against the goddamn law. Because your personal feelings on how you feel about she didn't fall through and drop you off your hair weave when you want it is going to get her 15 years to 25. That is not going to happen. And then they had the nerves to stand up to do the Pledge of Allegiance, right? So then when they get to the end of it, under one nation, under God, and deliver it in the justice for all. Really? And then you stand up there to be disgruntled and rebuttal and fight with this lady based on your personal feelings, something that she did not do for you, and you lied about this, and what in the hell? I'm saying, okay. See, this is why you got to trust God. Why you got to trust God and not man. Because you start listening to all this shit. Now I'm listening to all of these bloggers. And all of them have literally just jumped on the bandwagon of this tearing down this one person. And I guarantee you the majority of them, just like what happens over here in this community, is go along, get along, follow along. Oh, this has got some views to it. But I think that before you try to gather your views on it, that you should stabilize your humbleness with it too. Because you definitely would not want somebody to treat you that way if you happen to choose to place yourself in a position of what she may be in. I really wish at some point put the shoes on the other foot. Let somebody go up there. Somebody just out the blue. Go on up there and take that same freaking whipping and see if you will be able to compose yourself, because you're under the ethnic laws and in a political position for someone to be calling you all kind of names and pointing fingers and a bunch of threats and shit like that, and she not supposed to threaten back. I can understand why she has this extra security around her. I really, really do. But then there's a story out there with another lady who talks about how, her house was shot at or something, or whatever. And she believed that Tiffany Hinyard was behind that, and that has something to do with it. Now, what got me puzzled about that, if you felt that your home got shot all up and everything, and this had something to do with Tiffany Hinyard, where's her investigation and her arrest and stuff for that to pick Tiffany Hinyard up just on those bases alone? Do she not have enough evidence for it, or does it just sound cruddy enough for another person to pick it up and make a decision and like, damn, she did that? Well, guess what? We don't like her, so you jump on the bandwagon. But this lady had probably ample amount of time to have her evidence drawn and put together, and had her Tiffany Hinyard arrested just on what happened to her alone, but she couldn't prove it. The same way that there's many of them that's coming up there just to be up there and cannot prove half of the shit that they are saying. And that's why that lady is still sitting in that unanswerable seat up there, let alone with, I count maybe 4, 5, 6 people to her left and to her right. It's a total about 5 or 6, right? And they're still sitting there. You can't tell me that all of this information that they bringing up on this lady, and they saying that this is true, and she's cruddy, she's a thief, she's conniving, and those people are still sitting up there alongside of her. So what is it that they see that continues to keep them sitting up there on that board with that woman? Something isn't balancing out, and I'll just wait until the time comes, if they are going to be arresting this lady and having a trial with this lady. With that being said, I am out of here. Later.